Welcome, surf fans, to the most important heat in the lives of at least two of the surfers entering the lineup right now. Shun Murakami, Hiroto Ohhara, both from Team Japan, both fighting for one more spot, the last spot available for the entire Olympic field.
What would you do if you were Joan Duru or Leon Glatzer in this heat? If you think of potential implications of this heat, you could find yourself being Leon or Joan out the back with priority and a Japanese surfer underneath you needing a score. Would you give it to them?
No. This is competition. You know, and these surfers are going for gold as well. So I think you take emotions out of it. You don't look at faces. If it's your friend on land, you go into the water, and that's just a blank slate, and all you're trying to do is surf right past them. Joan Duru and Leon Glatzer have been so stellar in their runs all the way to this repechage final that I don't think they're backing down for anyone. It doesn't matter the Olympic implications.
And have a look at Team Japan. Kanoa Igarashi, Shun Murakami, and Hiroto Ohhara on the men's side. You have Shun and Hiroto in this heat right now. We're talking about making it to the Olympics. Whoever places higher of Shun and Hiroto will go to the Olympics. But now, as far as team standings go, if both Shun and Hiroto make this heat in first and second, they will go into the final. And we won't have one, not two, but we'll have 3 Japanese surfers in the final. What does that do for team points?
Well, and then it'll be a whole new event. Whoever finishes higher between Shun Murakami and Hiroto Ohhara will get that last and final spot in the field of 20 men who will be competing in the upcoming Olympic Games. Here we go. Big start. It's going to be Joan Duru representing Team France. His backhand is as lethal as anyone's in the business. Flying down the line. Big speed float. Hoping for more. It doesn't happen, so just has to rely on one big maneuver. A floater, it's pretty dangerous. It's a pretty impactful maneuver, but not as difficult as, say, an air or a big blowtail. So the judges most likely will keep that at a low to mid-range score.
I would agree with you, but the way that wave bent towards the shoreline, the scoopness, the thickness that it had through that midsection, that float was not only difficult, it was functional. And I do want to see it again as we see Joan Duru generating speed. You can see when he does it, he stays on the upper half of the wave. Now goes high. Clean float. Dangerous if you lose your footing on those floaters, as we see Shun Murakami, who went left and then decides to kick out. Why? You can see how that face really had no more wall, no more shoulder on it, just backs off, and he says, I don't think a 3-point ride will help me make it to the Olympics. As we see him patiently waiting out the back. Now priority is not established for first and second, but it is for third. Joan and Shun caught waves.
How do you stay motivated as a young surfer? Leon Glatzer, he's qualified for the Olympics. He's put the highest heat total of this entire event together just about a half an hour ago. So how do you get back into that competitive flow after you have to feel like you've already won everything? How do you keep it going?
He does have his sights set on the Olympics, but after that, he can always qualify for the World Championship Tour, making his path to the Olympics a little bit easier, qualifying via the first tier.
Well, this could be his best year ever. 20 minutes, 41 seconds to go. It's going to be Hiroto Ohhara. Up and down.
Uh-oh. Leaving the door wide open for Shun Murakami, who now has second priority. It looks like yellow. Leon Glatzer is having a look at this one. He does paddle. He can go. Let's see what the high-flying German can do. Just a quick in and out. Shun Murakami did an excellent job at selling him a flat tortilla, thinking it was a pupusa. Leon Glatzer does not go any higher on the scoreboard because that wave closes out. So great sell from Shun Murakami.
Yeah, that's you know, you give your competitor kind of the eye, like, oh no, you got one over on me on this one. This is going to be a great wave. And then they go, and then you gotta give yourself a little chuckle because you know you've sold them a dud. But part of the game there. 19:50 to go. Joan Duru in the lead with a 3:17. A lot of time to go. A lot of waves coming through. We've yet to see any of these surfers crack into that excellent range in this heat, but we know it's going to happen.
And you can see how Hiroto isn't on screen. He's way far left. Shun Murakami slightly paddled towards the left. And, well, I'm sorry, Hiroto's actually right there next to Shun now. It is Joan Duru who caught that right-hander that's further left, so my mistake. But the thing to note is that Shun Murakami actually paddled a little bit further left of your screen, so a little bit further south. Why? I think he's positioning himself to catch a right or a left.
Well, there's a reason why Team Japan right now has a stranglehold on the top of the team rankings. They have been on fire throughout this entire competition, fielding an incredibly strong team of 3 men and 3 women. I don't know if they had any idea how dramatic the end of this event was going to be for their team. Yes, they have to be excited with where they're sitting on the team standings, but they've also got to be concerned. There's a lot of questions to be answered yet from Hiroto Ohhara and Shun Murakami as we see live action Hiroto Ohhara trying to get things moving in this heat. This was a previous heat. Sorry, there's so many highlights from Team Japan that we could fill the whole day with their surfers. You have your live view of the lineup on the lower left-hand side. We're still watching highlights from this incredibly stacked Team Japan. Kanoa Igarashi, the team leader, and definitely a great spokesperson for that nation. As we see Hiroto Ohhara now.
That's live action.
This
right
is
there.
live action. Just providing a few more highlights to add to the incredible run from Team Japan. Can't finish that wave. Right behind him, Shun Murakami surfing towards his Olympic dreams. One big turn out the back. This wave flattens out in front of him. Can he get a big finish? Looks like something maybe will happen to the inside. It does not. So that wave's not going to feel like a dagger to Hiroto Ohhara.
So it's just a battle as long as one surfer from Japan places higher than the other. Could be third and fourth, both of them not making it to the final, but still the person that gets third will advance into the Olympics in place of the other surfer that gets fourth. So Shun Murakami and Hiroto Ohhara going to town as we see Hiroto very radical on that outside section, very soupy through the middle, is able to ride on through and connect with the inside. He goes down. And Shun Murakami, you can see how this wave, Chris, actually kind of bent away from the beach. So he was supposed to carve 3 times on this wave. He wants to connect with the lip. He wants to put his surfboard in the critical part of the wave. But if the wave does not give you a critical section, as we see the high-flying German once again 4 feet above the wave and lands nice and clean. He is going to get most likely the highest score of the heat so far.
I like how an air like that at the beginning of this event would have been, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, but Leon Glatzer has been doing it all day long. He has done the best air, the second best air, and the third best air in this entire contest.
Talk about physical ability. He was sick all afternoon yesterday. Very, very sick to his stomach. Got help from a French doctor. Helped him kind of relieve the symptoms. He was vomiting the entire afternoon. And you know what that does to you physically? It just takes the energy completely out of you. He didn't sleep well at all. And thankfully, he was just feeling a bit better, enough to the point where he could compete today. Somehow
and go
he goes
upside
into
down
the he goes in the water and just gets that extra energy that we were all looking for. He got the biggest score of the entire event in his previous heat and is looking good to do it again in this one.
So with 15:28 to go as it stands now, if this heat finished here, it would be Hiroto Ohhara going to the Olympic Games. But we do know we're not even halfway done yet. So for Hiroto Ohhara, this is his road to the Olympics. He's got to get through this heat. He's got to do well in the finals. Top finishing Japanese surfer between Hiroto and Shun will get that second and final spot in the Olympic Games. I like that it's not just dramatic because it's an Olympic spot. It's an Olympic spot that is the last one available ever. For the first time, we will see surfing in the Olympic Games. Here we go, Leon Glatzer. I like it. I think go to the air, put on a show. You've entertained us so much today. Keep it up. Leon Glatzer is quickly becoming Not just our favorite surfer, but the world's favorite surfer with what he's been doing. Now back to business. Hiroto Ohhara, beautiful snapping carve there, whipping through that backside turn. Another quick, sharp slice up and into the lip. That three-turn combo right there is going to loom large in his scoreline. You know what the judges want to see, and I think he did everything that they like in order to give a big score out. It was a shorter wave, 3 quick turns. Probably not going to be an excellent score, but it's going to be above average, no doubt.
It's going to be his best score of the heat, no doubt. This wave bowling beautifully, clean carve. You can see how he gets more speed after the maneuver. Nice vertical tag, the quickness, the precision. That is going to be Hiroto's best score. I really appreciate this angle. You can actually see how far and how much ground he covers, getting a little bit stuck behind the section. Just a quick poke and another on the inside, so a bit more vertical, connecting with the lip as we see Leon Glatzer having another look at this one. This man, I feel like, is going to put on an air show once again.
On your feet, surf fans, Leon Glatzer providing the highlight reel moments and does it again. Completing beautiful frontside air right there. Now it feels like Leon Glatzer's just on the ultimate victory lap. Win or lose in this heat, he has put on the best display of progressive surfing that we've seen of any surfer in this event. Meanwhile, Joan Duru going to work, blue collar style, grinding through big, beautiful, powerful backside whips all the way down the line. As if you thought the story was over.
Well,
it's rolling through.
He's been really quiet. Not only this heat, the entire event, just making it on through, letting his surfing do the talking. 2 big bashes. You can see how vertical he can get on his backhand on those right-handers, top to bottom, and a 4th vertical hit on the inside. So that is going to be Joan Duru's best ride as well. We're still waiting for scores to drop. 2 from Leon Glatzer, 1 from Joan Duru. Shun Murakami's ride came in at a 4.57. Hiroto Ohhara's wave came in at a 5.83. Hiroto first, Shun second. Waves dropping for both French surfers and German surfers. So I almost feel like we will see a complete flip-flop of that positioning. We will see Joan and Leon most likely take first and second position, making the pressure on the Japanese almost unbearable.
So now what happens? Let's just say hypothetically, Hiroto and Shun get 3rd and 4th place. What happens to the standings there? Who makes the team?
The surfer who places higher. So if it's Hiroto in 3rd, he advances and makes it into the Olympics. If Shun gets 3rd, he is going to be keeping that Pan American slot open. He will make it into the Olympic Games. Remember, he qualified via, I'm sorry, not the Pan American, the ISA 2019 event. So regionally, he qualified in that event. But if another Japanese surfer places higher than him in this event, which is a more important tier, that surfer gets the spot. So simple math, whoever places higher, either Hiroto or Shun, that person will go to the Olympics, period.
Well, this event being watched by millions around the world, the Olympics watched by billions. Do these surfers know what's in store for them as they make their way to Tokyo for the Olympic Games?
They have an idea. They've seen it on TV. 3.82 billion people tune in into the Olympics. All of us have seen it. Let's see what Shun Murakami can do.
This is a wave that could send Shun Murakami to the Olympics. Great start. Making the most of a kind of an open face, flatter looking wave. Not a lot of critical sections yet.
Big
good
hack
inside turn there. So 2 big carves into a layback snap. Think about that. Put yourself in the position of the judges. What will you reward him for that last wave as we see Joan Duru taking a note out of the Kanoa Igarashi book, sticking to those rights, sticking to his backhand. His backside surfing basically is what got him on the WSL Championship Tour, is what's gotten him this far in his career. One of the best backhands in the business. Joan Duru currently sitting in 3rd, but only needs a 3.39.
I tell you what, his last wave came in at a 6.77. We're still waiting for scores to drop on that previous wave that you saw on screen right now. Leon Glatzer goes into first position with a 6.5 and a 6.00. Hiroto Ohhara right now is in 2nd, but we are waiting for scores to drop from Shun Murakami. He needs a 5.6. That is not a tall ask for the goofy footer from Japan. That is not a tall ask for any of these surfers. I do believe we will see a flip-flop again as we see yellow and blue. Having a look at this one.
Leon Glatzer now winding up and good, gives us a break. Here we go. Hiroto Ohhara, a very important wave. Nicely done. 2 big bashes and a strong finish. The confidence looking back at the judges. Give it to me. I'm earning it.
Those rights are giving the surfers way more scoring opportunity, and Hiroto knows that. Look how low he gets and how powerful that last maneuver was on the inside section. Generates speed as he hits the lip. Complete control, and Hiroto Ohhara now answers back to Shun Murakami's 5.83. Hiroto now needs a 6.67. Shun is sitting with first priority. Leon with second. Shun having a look at this wave. He's paddling. He may be going right.
Shun Murakami now. His backhand is laser sharp. Oh, but a big mistake there for Shun Murakami. Up and into the lip and straight over the falls. 8 minutes, 25 seconds to go.
8 minutes, 25 seconds until we know which of the 2 surfers in the water right now representing Japan will make it into the Olympics. Shun Murakami starts off with a nice clean bottom turn. A little bit too relaxed, a little bit too passive. He needed a little bit more speed to connect with the lip. Hiroto Ohhara is about to drop most likely the highest score of the heat for him. Let's have a look again.
Is this a 6.67?
Look at how much speed he generated and how much power went into that last maneuver. Looking at the judges going, hey, I've done a lot on the previous wave. I got a 5.83. How about this one? Well, there you have it. An 8.0 for Hiroto Ohhara. Not only takes over Shun Murakami, but takes over Leon and Joan Duru. Now in first position, the pressure, insurmountable pressure over the surfer in the white rash guard, Shun Murakami, who had already provisionally qualified via the 2019 ISA Championships. He is now needing a score to keep him alive, a 6.91.
This is an unprecedented moment in surfing history. Never seen anything like it. Hiroto Ohhara in the lead with a huge score. That last wave, it's almost like he politely knocked on the door and then kicked it open with that final bash. I would say the weight of that score had to be on his final turn.
He took
everything, the emphasis on power, speed, flow into that turn. It was a beautiful moment, a glorious finishing maneuver for Hiroto Ohhara.
Like a samurai, he grabbed the katana and destroyed the door. Left nothing.
No doors left undestroyed. I like that. 6 minutes, 28 seconds to go here. Hiroto Ohhara in the lead. Joan Duru just quietly, putting himself on the right waves. A great pace. Leon Glatzer with a 6.5 and a 6.
A smart read on behalf of Hiroto Ohhara, taking into consideration that the tide is coming up. We really hadn't seen that in the last week of competition. High tide was usually in the morning, and throughout the course of the morning, the tide was dropping, allowing surfers to sit further out, focus on the left-hander because the right kind of tends to move away. The playing field gets too wide, too broad. But now with the tide coming in, we actually see all the energy focusing itself on that peak that you see on screen directly in front of the river mouth, La Bocana, and we see Joan Duru having a look at this one.
Joan Duru in second priority gets this wave.
Wow.
Throws a searing frontside snap, blasts the tail on his second turn. So for Joan Duru, he's not thinking about what Team Japan needs to do. He's thinking about what Team France needs to do.
Team points.
They're right there on top of the leaderboard as well, currently sitting in second place, right behind Team Japan. If he gets himself into the final, that could be a huge difference in overall points for his team. He wants it.
Technically, perfect. The timing of that first carve leading him into the flats of the wave, compressing his body, and then bashing that outside section as we see Shun. This is an important wave for the Japanese surfer.
Shun Murakami needs a big score, and that wave just does not cooperate. You saw he shook his head thinking, what more do I have to do? The wave just flattened off in front of him. Hiroto Ohhara still in the lead. That 8 that turn. That could have been the turn that sends this young man, actually, that has him accepting the Olympic Games. The Olympics are coming to his hometown, not just his home country, his hometown, his home break.
Chiba.
I can't even imagine what that would feel like. It's one thing to go to the Olympics. It's another thing to walk to the Olympics from your house, and that's what could potentially happen for Hiroto Ohhara.
And think of Hiroto, how previous to this event, he was thinking, well, I could just walk to the Olympics and watch it, but I want to be in it, as we see Leon up and riding.
Well, if he does get in the Olympic Games, he'll be going up against this guy who has proven himself to, he's proven his spot in the elite in the world right now, Leon Glatzer. And just a great representative of German surfing. And you see Hiroto Ohhara, he is feeling it right now.
Oh, no! He pushes a little bit hard, front foot slides off the pad. I'm sorry, off the front of the board, the deck. Front foot on wax, back foot on the deck, that tail pad. So
that could have been the final assault that gets him the win. But with that fall, there's still a slight opening in the door that Shun Murakami is trying to bust his way through. 3 minutes, 12 seconds to go. Look at the score needed by Shun Murakami, a 6.91. This guy's been dropping 7s and 8s this entire event. Do not count him out yet.
We're still waiting for scores to drop from Joan Duru. He was needing a 7.07 to go into first. Leon Glatzer was needing a 6.25 to go into second. Hiroto Ohhara was trying to replace a 5.83, and he would have done that had he not fallen on that wave. If he does improve on his situation, it won't be by much. Leon Glatzer opting to keep his board and his fins wet, not going to the air this time. Smart surfing from him. He is trying to replace a 6.00, but this surfing from Hiroto, he looked so on point. Bottom turn perfect. That second turn ridiculous. Third pushes hard, and somehow the left foot comes off the wax and he goes down. Joan Duru, have a look at this technique. Clean, beautiful carve, bottom turn, flow, yes. Combination, yes. Big score, guaranteed. Still waiting for scores to drop from Joan. Still waiting for scores to drop from Yellow, Leon Glatzer, and Hiroto Ohhara. So that score, that section, I should say, of Hiroto's left was so impressive as we see him up and riding again.
He's back at it. Not giving up. Beautiful layback snap. Digs the nose, continues on, recovering nicely. Another huge turn for Hiroto Ohhara. You could be watching his Olympic dream come true. Surfing like that, dynamic, fast, beautiful, powerful. Hiroto Ohhara's done it all.
That was it. That was the score that he needed. That was the wave that he needed. Somehow getting it without priority. Shun Murakami was sitting out the back and was too far outside to catch that insider. Hiroto Ohhara, the read at La Bocana. Clearly, the fact that him and his team, Masatoshi Ono, are staying in front of this wave, giving him the upper hand, focusing on what Kaноa Igarashi did in the past, flipping the switch on a heat in the dying minutes. Hiroto Ohhara may have just dropped the best score of the heat as we see Leon Glatzer. Big tail blow on that inside section. Hiroto, bottom turn, big blast. Looking like he was going to go down, but he doesn't. Gets speed and gets even more speed when he hits that section. Top to bottom, pushing the tail. Is he confident? Yes. Is he doing a variation of maneuvers? Is he passionate? Is everything in his life finally paying off?
You know what's cool about that last wave is that right there erases any doubt, any controversial finish, you know, any buzzer beater opportunities. He did it right there with absolute command. His performance in this heat is the clutch performance of the event. Hands down, and right there, a showstopper again from Leon Glatzer. Put him on your list as favorite surfers. You know, this is a guy that could win gold medal here at the ISA World Games. He could win an Olympic gold medal. Should probably be on the WSL Championship Tour. Can win Stab High. He can do it all. But now let's go back from the thrill of victory to the agony of defeat taking nothing away from the performance of Shun Murakami. This guy inspired the world with his surfing throughout this event, deserves so much credit.
One of the best goofy footers in the world, unfortunately, bows out of competition and also says goodbye to competing for Japan in Tokyo in 2 months' time.
And with that last score from Leon Glatzer, Team France now is dealt a harsh blow as they will not.
Wait, we're still waiting for scores to drop from Joan Duru. We need one more score from Joan, one more score from Hiroto, one more score from Leon. So 2 more scores from Leon. So ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. Current situation, Hiroto Ohhara is in first and is only going to improve on his situation. So he is guaranteed to go into that first position and keep a tight lock on it. Joan Duru scores still. Judges deliberating. Leon Glatzer, a 6.5 and a 6.33. He's in third position. Joan Duru goes into second with a 7.07. Hiroto Ohhara is going to take this heat out. We don't even know that last score of Hiroto. But Leon Glatzer and Shun Murakami are officially out of competition. Incredible surfing from the German and a stellar performance from Shun Murakami.
Get a knife. We got to cut this tension. Wow, what a finish. Just when you thought the story was over, it continues on. And for this young surfer, his Olympic dreams have just been achieved. The Olympics are coming to Japan. The Olympics are coming to Hiroto Ohhara's hometown. And
he will be walking there to compete, not as a spectator, not as a fan. He is going to be alongside Team Japan, alongside Kanoa Igarashi, Amuro Suzuki, and Mahina Maeda.
Hometown hero status for life. Hiroto Ohhara is an Olympian.
We still haven't gotten that last score from Hiroto. I just want to know, because the surfing he produced at a clutch moment, at the most important moment of his entire career. Sure, he's won the U.S. Open, but getting his foot in the door to compete for Japan in the Olympics, arguably the most important moment of his career. It comes in at a 9.00. Congratulations to Hiroto Ohhara with a stellar performance. Guarantees a spot in the grand final and in the Olympics.
Never leave it up to the judges. You don't want any close calls at the end of these heats. Right there, Hiroto Ohhara proved he is right up there in the elite of surfing. Love that show of sportsmanship. These guys are still on a team together. They still have team points on the line for Hiroto Ohhara and Shun Murakami. That was one of the most exciting battles I've ever seen in the history of surfing, knowing every wave, every turn mattered so much.
Hats off
what a moment.
Hats off to Shun Murakami for smiling, congratulating his fellow competitor. That was a big moment, a moment where most competitors would bow down and cry. He held his fist in the air and congratulated Hiroto Ohhara on beating him and making it into the Olympics.
Well, get this. The team standings battle is not over. Japan has 2 surfers in the final. France has 2 surfers in the final. Portugal has 2 surfers in the final. Peru with 1. It's not over yet for our team standings. Remember, the team that wins here today will be getting ISA gold medals draped around their necks. We have individual medals on the line as well. You're about to watch basically a video part. A stressful, amazing, emotional roller coaster ride of a heat. Here are your official final results. Hiroto Ohhara leaving no doubt, leaving nothing in the water. 17 points for his total. Joan Duru with the buzzer beater, taking down Leon Glatzer. Shun Murakami put up a heck of a fight from the beginning to the end of that heat. He ends up in 4th place. And what a show.
This is what transpired in arguably the most exciting 25 minutes of ISA surfing history. Joan Duru getting a 2nd place spot and guaranteeing himself a medal at the ISAs in 2021. Leon Glatzer on absolute fire. Unfortunately, all those waves that he caught on this medium to smaller range, getting big scores, and Shun Murakami just could not find that open face with a clean lip to hit, forced to do cutbacks almost the entire heat. What do you want to do? You want to get those right-handers that Hiroto Ohhara caught.
Well, it's if you take out all the dramatics, if you take out the